and welcome back to another episode of the Branching Out podcast. This week we have an exciting podcast. We're catching up with Kate Smith, who has been working on the EverCare program that we have at Ground Control. She worked on the Charity of the Year last year for grounds maintenance with the RLNI in memory of Simon Wiggins, and now did such a great job, has been pulled into EverCare and is working on our Ground Control Charity of the Year this year with Help for Heroes. Joining Kate also is Joy Petley, and she is our partnership account manager with Help for Heroes. So we're going to have a great catch up about our Charity of the Year and Help for Heroes and how we can all get involved to support. So welcome both. Thank you for joining today. Kate, we're going to start with you. What is EverCare for those who don't know about EverCare?
So EverCare is our company's framework for measuring and delivering social and environmental impact. It embeds corporate social responsibility, which most people know as CSR, into everything we do. It's essentially our way of ensuring that our business activities generate measurable benefits for all of our communities, people, and the planet. And it's through EverCare that we publish our annual Social Value Impact Report, which has just recently been published. That report quantifies our contributions to society and the environment. So essentially, EverCare is our way of demonstrating our belief that business can be a force for good.
Yeah, so what that kind of means for people in the business is where we have the We Care benefit, where you can do your 2 days volunteering. We'll pay for your salary for that day, or we do the match funding for any fundraising that individuals do in the business. And even when you think about our Evergreen Fund, what we do around carbon emissions and planting trees and all of that all is kind of contributing to EverCare essentially. And to kind of boost that even further, after the great job you did last year with the RLNI, we kind of decided as a business, let's keep this going, but as a company-wide initiative and have a Charity of the Year. So could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. A Charity of the Year like we had last year in maintenance with the RNLI is basically a partnership between our business and a chosen charity for a set period, which is generally a year period. For us, for Help for Heroes, that year runs from the 1st of October of this year, 2025, to the 30th of September, 2026. Having a Charity of the Year is a really great way of focusing fundraising, volunteering and awareness efforts on a single cause to maximise the impact that we can make. So just like we did in maintenance last year for the RNLI, which we did in memory of one of our colleagues, Simon Wiggins, who sadly passed away, whereas this year we've obviously partnered with Help for Heroes, but in a much wider remit as Ground Control.
Yeah, because we do have a number of, we have a veteran in my own team, Andrea, so it's great to kind of highlight those individuals in the business and support a cause that is quite close to us as a business as a whole. We've done work in the past with veterans in different capacities, so I think it's a great start for the business as a Charity of the Year. Can you tell me a little bit why we have partnered with Help for Heroes?
Yeah, so when we were looking for a Charity of the Year, we really wanted one that shares our values around supporting people and communities. And obviously Help for Heroes have the same values as us, and they really want to make a tangible difference to veterans and their families. And obviously we're not the only partner of Help for Heroes. We're really excited to be joining other brands such as Ambassador Cruise Lines, BAE Systems, Cotton Traders Next and WH Smith, who feel exactly the same way as we do and have chosen Help for Heroes as their charity partner.
Brilliant. Well, I think it's time to bring Joy into the conversation. She's been listening to us, so let's hear it from Joy. Welcome. Thank you for speaking with us today. Could you tell me a little bit about Help for Heroes, your main mission and your aims as a charity?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, thanks for having me on the podcast today. It's really exciting to be here, and just want to thank everyone at Help for Heroes for Ground Control for everything that they've done so far and what they're about to do over the next year. It's really exciting. We've got some exciting plans ahead. So thank you. So our main aims and mission. So Help for Heroes exists to make sure every member of the armed forces community in the UK can live well after service. So leaving the military can be really, really tough, physically, mentally, and socially. Our mission is to provide holistic support for veterans and their families. We cover everything from physical health to mental well-being to financial assistance and also social connection. It's really, really important. So whether someone served for 2 years or 20, we're here to help them and their loved ones thrive.
Brilliant. I think I was looking at the website the other day. I looked at it again this morning, and you get a good feel for that with everything that you kind of show and have on the
Yeah.
site. What I thought was really interesting, if you could tell us a little bit about the story behind Help for Heroes, the inspiration behind creating it, and who started it.
Yeah, it's a really, really incredible story. And uh, we've got a gentleman here called Mark Elliott who was there right from the beginning, and no one can say it and tell the story as well as him, but I'll try and summarize. It really is really incredible. So the charity was founded in 2007 by Bryn and Emma Parry. Basically, they visited Selly Oak Hospital and met wounded soldiers who'd returned from Iraq and Afghanistan. They were struck by the lack of dedicated facilities for recovery. We just weren't prepared as a country for everything for everyone that came back and how they came back. And veterans were even using public swimming pools at their most vulnerable moments. So, learning to walk, and it was really, really shocking, I think. Their initial goal was simple: build a specialist pool at Headley Court Rehabilitation Centre. The public response was incredible. Obviously, that needed a lot of public support and fundraising to achieve, but over £2 million was raised in just the first 2 months. It was there was no other words, and that momentum just kept growing and growing. And the charity, it wasn't even a charity at that point. It was just a movement. It was just starting, and then famous people, brands got on board. The public just kept growing into what we see today. So it grew into a nationwide movement to support veterans and their families. And we're here nearly 18 years on, supporting veterans and their families in a really unique way, ensuring they're supported 360, so to speak. Very holistic support.
Yeah, I think that ground roots kind of start is, I think, really, really compelling, and really, I think that's probably what's kind of kept you going as well for the 18 years is it is something that speaks to everyone. I think most people know somebody that is a veteran, whether it's parents, grandparents, cousins. I have a cousin that's a veteran, and I think it's something that we all, to some respects, appreciate their service, and you want to see them taken care of. So I think it's really inspiring, and a really great story. What could you, that's a standout alone as it is. What else kind of puts Help for Heroes apart from other charities that support veterans?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've never even thought about the start of it setting us apart. But actually, I've worked in a few charities over my career so far, and yeah, I've never had a story quite like that of how a charity started. I'd say what sets us apart is our comprehensive lifelong approach. So we don't just focus on one aspect like housing or employment. We provide integrated support across physical health, mental health, financial ability, and social connection. We've got a recovery college, offers free courses on everything from pain management, anger management to financial well-being. We also champion adaptive sports and social activities to rebuild confidence and community, connecting veterans and their families with social activities in their community. So like pulling together what's already there. So we're not just creating new things and spending money that way. We're really connecting people and their families with what's already happening in their community, so they are merging back into their communities and really building that social connection from the ground up. Essentially, our specialist nurses and case managers explore the needs of the individual over time as well. So they break down the barriers, really getting to grips with the needs of the individual. So the help providers sets them up for their lifetime. If a veteran finds that they need support from us again in the future, we're there. And importantly, we help the families too. So because when life gets tough for a veteran, it affects everybody around them.
It does. Yeah. And I think that the individual approach as well is probably what's contributed to your success. There is no one fits all for anyone, especially going through a transition, trying to adapt back into what is a crazy little world that we're living in these days, especially. So I think that's probably what, like I said, it really contributes to your success as a charity. Kate has already name dropped a few, but could you give us? I know I was looking at the St. James one because that's kind of talking about the college bit there. What are some of the key organizations or partners that you work with regularly?
So Kate, you mentioned a lot of them. We are also working with Tesco as well, BAE Systems next. WH Smith, we've worked with Mondelez, and as well government bodies and other military charities, and ground control now, which is really exciting for us. I remember when we got told that we'd been chosen, I was quick to put my hand up to work with you as the account manager, because I've got a personal interest in gardening and biodiversity, so it was really interesting for me. So the collaborations that are really important, and the people in them are critical to funding our services and co-creating initiatives like recovery college courses and the ones you mentioned, St. James's Place, are really important because a lot of the time it's the funding. It's what keeps us going and enables us to support veterans. The strategic partnerships like St. James's Place was where they, as an organisation, they use their specialist expertise in financial management. We know that we are supporting veterans and their families who are struggling in this area. So we are merging those two areas where we have that specialist knowledge of the veterans and their challenges, and the St. James's Place, for instance, have their specialist knowledge in financial management. We blend them together to create something very unique that we are able to support veterans in their home virtually. We have face-to-face courses as well, and we can provide that knowledge for free for veterans. I mean, to the general public, that costs a lot of money to get access to that support. So we do things like that. So we also our partnership with Ambassador Cruise Line focuses on improving veterans' physical and mental health. So we have veterans go on board and they have access to the wonderful cruises, and sometimes it is just the basic ability to rest from normal life, and focus on your physical mental well-being. That's really important. And then we've got other partnerships like CDW that supports us with tech solutions to enhance care delivery. So with ground control specifically, we're already exploring how we can draw on the specialist skills within your team to inspire members of the armed forces community. So we're looking at the moment about helping them discover new hobbies and interests and potentially even future career paths. So this aspect of the partnership is something that I'm particularly really excited about exploring.
Yeah, because I think at ground control, I mean, most people, it's not a behind the desk sort of job. It is a bit more physical, and it's getting out into nature, which is always good for anyone's mental health. I'm going to switch back to you, Kate, just really quickly while we're on the subject of partnerships. I've obviously we're in the start of it. It's only started for about a month and a half now. What do we hope to achieve as a business with this partnership with Help for Heroes?
So the partnership has a fundraising target of £55,000 by the end of September 2026 to obviously support all of those ex-servicemen and women living with physical and mental health challenges after their military service. But not only do we hope to obviously give money towards with the fundraising, we also hope to be able to utilise our 2 volunteering days that we get every single year to support Help for Heroes with things like their Heroes Hikes, amongst other bits and pieces that they've got planned in for next year. So watch this space definitely on the volunteering front. But of course, the third part of it is really to raise awareness. So it's to raise awareness internally with our colleagues, but also with our clients and obviously our supply chain as well and our field teams.
Yeah, because we work with a lot of businesses. We work with a lot of different groups of people. So it's definitely a great way of getting the Help for Hero message out just through our clients and our partners as well, our suppliers. Where are we at? So obviously it's early days, but where are we at so far with our fundraising?
Well, it's not been communicated to anybody in the business, so no one from the board down knows this yet. I literally crunched the numbers this morning, and I feel like we need a bit of a drum roll at this point. But since it's just us, I could reveal that we have so far raised a staggering £9,102, which does include the ground control pound for pound matching, and that represents 16.5% of our target reached in just over the 1.5 months that we've sort of taken place. I just wanted to give a bit of a shout out at this point of how that's been made possible by some teams and by some different events. So that's been made up from the LDE Maintenance Charity Client Golf Day that we hosted in October. The Maintenance Autumn Conference, again, hosted in October. Then we recently did some Remembrance Day walks in London, Billericay and Falkirk. And a huge shout out to the Falkirk team, who even got mentioned in the local press. They walked something like 6 miles each, and they did the majority of the fundraising there. So they did amazing.
Yeah, they do deserve a shout out for that.
Absolutely. We've also got the pound for pound matching of the GC Amber Alert. So please don't forget, anybody in our business, that for every Amber Alert you or your team raise, that's another £1 donated every single time to Help for Heroes. And so far, that total on its own has reached a staggering £1,011. And we've also got a generous 3% contribution coming from our salt sales in maintenance, which has then been matched by GC. And then just over the last couple of days, we've had a really kind, generous donation of £1,018 by an associate of Simon Morris's, who's made the donation directly to Help for Heroes, because he saw that it was a charity close to our hearts.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's really great. Well done to everyone that has done the hard work so far, and sounds like we're right on the path to hopefully achieving our goals, if not more than that. And yeah, the walks, which I think we'll talk a little bit about in a moment. But yeah, I was looking at that, and I would like to know more about that. So I'm going to come back to you, Joy, because you've talked about a lot of the stuff that you guys do, and that, by all means, is something to be proud of. And even the start of the story where you've got 2 million in 2 million in 2 months, was it? That's like that.
Yeah,
that is a proud moment in it of itself. Are there any other key kind of moments or achievements over the last 18 years that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, there are so many, and I went to lots of people in the organisation to ask what their proudest moment was, and I had a really good summary from our CEO. So I think one of our proudest achievements has been transforming the way recovery is delivered in the UK, shifting to a community-based model and launching our recovery portal. All means that veterans can now access tailored support more easily and more quickly than ever. So we originally had 4 main areas in the country which we're reaching veterans by, and by far they were incredible rehabilitation centres. But we found that we weren't reaching everybody because, veterans are people and they live everywhere around the UK. Yeah. So we now have this community-based model, and we are reaching them where they are. We're also proud to have pioneered new approaches to veteran care. So our recovery college and the close collaboration with the NHS have helped shape a more holistic, integrated model of support across the country. And some of our proudest moments come from seeing when what we call veterans paying it forward. So they've achieved incredible personal milestones with us, and then they return as mentors and coaches to guide others through their recoveries. And that's what's made the financial wellbeing course like truly unique and just very incredible and self motivating for our veterans that we've supported. We've got our 15th anniversary celebration in Parliament, which was attended by over 100 MPs, including senior figures across all parties. It was a powerful reminder of the cross-party support for veterans as well, where we're unified and we're unifying. So it was all of these moments reflect what we're most proud of, which is essentially transforming lives and creating a future where every veteran is getting the support that they deserve.
That's brilliant. That's really great. Thank you for that. Obviously, we're not done yet. You're growing, you're expanding, you're reaching the four corners of Great Britain. What are some upcoming exciting projects or initiatives that you have coming up?
Yeah, so we've got our flagship fundraising event. So the big Battlefield bike ride. I'm glad I could say that properly on the podcast as it's a mouthful. So that's returning. It's every year and it is magnificent. And it's returning in 2026 to commemorate the 110th anniversary of the Battle of the Somme. So we're also launching more Heroes hikes and virtual challenges like Operation Swim, giving supporters really fun ways to get involved while raising vital funds. Plus, we're exploring innovative partnerships to integrate technology into veteran care, making support even more accessible. We have our first ever TV sponsorship. With Help for Heroes became the sponsor of Channel 5's Great British Stories programme strand, marking a major step in raising national awareness for veterans issues. And we've also just launched Hero Strides. We're embracing innovation. Our new adaptive workout app is designed specifically for veterans, and this helps them stay active and empowered regardless of ability or injury. So also exploring these new tech partnerships to make support even more accessible.
That's brilliant. That's exciting. I know we've got some keen outdoors and runners and marathon, so I could select some people. Yeah, but see some I can definitely see some people getting involved. On that note, Kate, I mean, we talked about a few things already. What are ways that our colleagues at Ground Control can get involved?
So next year, I think we'll probably start in January, we'll be launching the Battle of the Divisions. So just like we did in maintenance, where we split our teams and they owned fundraising months, our divisions will also own their own months, whereby they'll coordinate all of their own fundraising activities. It really is when we reach outside of Ground Control and go further afield to our friends and family members that we can raise the most amount of money for our charity of the year. And obviously we mustn't forget that every pound that we do raise is matched by Ground Control on top. So I guess watch this space for when your divisional month will come. And
we're not competitive at all here at Ground Control. We like a bit of competition. So yeah, stay tuned. Look out for Kate's posts about that. Yes, we like a bit of healthy competition, so I look forward to watching that over the next year. Some volunteering activities. Do we have anything planned at the moment?
Yes, so in the new year again, there's going to be plenty. So they're kicking off in sort of April time with some of the Heroes hikes. They'll be in places such as Scafell Pike, Snowdon. They're doing the London military landscapes. And there's also ones taking place in the Malvern Hills. We'll also be looking at helping to support the Help for Heroes military ice hockey events as well that will take place in June and July in Sheffield time. So watch this space for those as they get released. In June each year, I know Joy mentioned the partnership with Tesco's, but Help for Heroes also need a lot of volunteers in June to help with the national Tesco collections that they run. So obviously that will take place across most of the country, but we can also offer our time through running themed talks on speciality areas to veterans that have been done on a monthly sort of basis and their families, but also via the mentoring program, which is currently being established at the charity as well, where we pass on sort of our work knowledge to staff within the charity and kind of grow their sort of expertise and breadth.
Brilliant. It's very exciting. So everyone listening, please watch this space and please get involved as we really support Help for Heroes over the next year. Anything else anyone would like to share before we end today?
Oh, I've just got some fundraising ideas if people wanted to go and do their own thing, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could be here for ages telling you all about the weird, wonderful, and downright crazy things that you could do. Obviously, do make sure that you are safe whenever you do it.
Yeah. Do a site risk assessment before participating in any activities.
Absolutely. But just to give you some ideas of some of the things that maintenance did with the RNLI in some of their fundraising months. Obviously, you've got sponsored walks, cycles, runs, swims, rows, team walks across the country. They were super successful. And again, it builds the camaraderie within your team. Bake sales, we had hair dyeing challenges, bungee jumps, car washes, sponsored silences, bingo sessions, quizzes. We had someone working from the bath for a whole day, which the clients absolutely loved. And we also had a number of ice bucket challenges, which I know our winter team were really happy to get involved in. And just remember that whatever you want to do in the sort of fundraising space, if you do want to do something on your own or as a little kind of team, do try and do that as part of a team, because that way it helps strengthen relationships. You get to have some fun along the way. And of course, you're fundraising for our charity of the year, Help for Heroes.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
Thank you both again for taking the time to talk to me today about this. And yes, we'll have to catch up again next year with maybe some additional special guests.
Yeah.
Watch this space. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Big thank you again to Kate Smith from Ground Control and Joy Petley with Help for Heroes. If you are interested in learning more about Help for Heroes, please check out their website at www.helpforheroes.org.uk. And all of you fellow ground controllers, please keep an eye out in your emails and on Hi Bob to find out how you can get involved in raising money for Help for Heroes over the next year. And as always, if you would like to get involved with the Branching Out podcast and come on as a guest, please reach out to us in the training team at Ground Control. Until next time, take care.